how's it going, everyone? Thanks for tuning in to The Real for Real. If this is your very first time checking us out, we appreciate you tuning in. If you're watching this video, please do like and subscribe. So today we're going to be talking about F9, directed by Justin Lin. Justin Lin did number 3, 4, 5, and 6 as well. So it was good to have him back for this movie. And man, you got the whole crew in this movie, man. You got everybody. They brought everybody back. It felt like a family reunion. Man, Isaiah, bro, what were you thinking about this movie?
So,
what'd you think?
Straight up, my first thoughts were not another Fast movie. I won't lie, going into it, I wanted to completely dislike it. Like, I wanted to. Like, my thought was, we've had enough of this.
Yeah.
There's no need for me to go see this movie.
Yeah.
That's the way and I'm just being honest about it. Like, I didn't want to go in and like it. To be honest, after watching it last night, it's okay. I mean, it's just as good as I'd say Fast 7, Fast 8,
Wow,
Fast 9.
I'm
is
surprised
in that same realm.
I'm surprised to hear you say that.
But it still doesn't cap. Well, it doesn't cap my best, the one I think is best.
Oh man.
And so I think, like, for me, of course, the OG original one is going to be. The OG is going to definitely be like number 1. I think it was a nice balance. You got the racing part, but then it had good plot going on with it, and it had good camaraderie. It was great.
Right.
For me, the next one after that really I think did its thing was number 5. So Fast 5 was the other one that finally I was like, yo, this is legit.
Yeah.
And it didn't feel old. It didn't feel forced.
Yeah.
And so for this one though, yeah, that's just where I was at, going into it.
So you know where I stand on this, man. So Fast and the Furious 7, when Paul Walker died, the series died for me. And I mentally checked out. But Fast and the Furious is one of those movies where you just check it out just to see, right? Like, let me see what they're going to do this time. Let me see what they're going to do. But my problem with Fast and the Furious is that for a while, it's kind of been the poor man's Mission Impossible. And it's been like that for a while. It's been like that. I would say now Fast and the Furious 5, like Fast 5 was great. I think that's actually the best one out the series. I love the first one. The first one's greatness. But Fast 5, when you're looking for storytelling, action, and just the plot and going out there but not too out there, Fast 5 has got the perfect balance. Great movie. This one is just, I understand the mass appeal to the absurdity of these movies.
Yeah.
But this movie is just 9 steps too far. It's 9 steps too far for me, man. And I
got that.
It's really, I wasn't really feeling it. I felt like the screenplay wasn't good either. But before I just start dogging this movie out, man, I just want to.
I'm about to say, let's do it. Let's get the order.
And I'm not going to disrespect the Fast and the Furious series. I understand it. Like I said, I understand the absurdity and how ridiculous it is, and how people go see these movies to. Man, I can't wait to see what they're going to pull off this time. But just for me, it felt like they were responding to Twitter, social media, and just saying like, okay, what can we do this time? That's what we should do. That's a good idea. And that's how I felt about that.
Okay. Well, for those who ain't watched before, we're going to dig into some things we like, some things we dislike, then we'll give you an overall rating. Right. So let's go into things we like.
Right.
So things that I definitely liked about the film. First would have to be definitely the callbacks to like the connective tissue of the film. I thought was done really, really well. When I watched it from the get-go, anybody who's watched the series knows that apparently the first time that we meet, Dom, Vin Diesel's Dom character, is in that first movie, and he tells us that he's been locked up before because of the fact that he busted somebody with an Allen wrench. And so we get to start with the beginning and seeing like, his dad dying and this, that, and the other, like, and then we kind of see, like, as the movie progresses, we get that backstory. They go back and they put some connective tissue together in terms of tying in, like, kind of tying up some loose ends about Han. And anybody who's seen this series, all of you know that like, the timeline of the series is a little rough to work through.
I actually want to say something about that.
They did connect that, so go ahead, kick it.
When filmmakers and marketers do not care about spoilers, then why should I care about the film? Because Han is somebody that they could have surprised it a little bit better. instead of putting him on the cover of the movie poster and putting him in a trailer and just like, oh, Han is back. So I felt like they really dropped the ball on that part.
So I'll agree. I would definitely agree that it shouldn't have been a trailer moment to know that Han was back.
It's on the movie. It's on the movie post. He's on the movie poster.
Especially seeing as though he wasn't in the He wasn't in the last two.
Right. He wasn't.
If I remember right, I don't think he was in 7 or 8.
Right.
Yes, given the connective tissue, like I said, that is a good. It's a needed piece.
Right.
And I thought that they did a good job of weaving all these things together.
Mm-hmm.
So that to me was really cool. And tying in and connecting all the films via various things, including one small piece of connective tissue that I'm almost 100% I'm right about. So there was at the beginning of the film, they pull off the first little job that they got to pull off, and to get extracted out of the country there, a certain agent pops up, and what I thought was some really cool connective tissue was the fact that when they bring him in, Player still got his busted nose from a couple movies back when they cracked his nose open. So I thought that was really cool. Not to mention the connective tissue that comes in dropping off characters from films we hadn't seen in a while.
That's true. Yeah.
You
got your Tokyo Drift crew.
The Tokyo Drift crew comes back.
You got people from Tokyo Drift that are rocket scientists now.
I mean,
that's
You had that you had that tie-in. Oh, I can't remember. But they added in one of the when they were down in the Dominican for a little bit in one of the movies, they brought back one of the Latin singers for that. I can't remember the guy's name. He pops up at the end of the movie. So there's all this connective tissue, and of course it ends with all these people having, of course, their Last Supper type of thing at the end of each movie. We know how that goes with the nod.
It's family. It's family.
Yeah, and with the nod to Paul Walker.
They stick on the theme of family.
Yeah, so sticking to it. So that was all good to me. I don't know, what's a benefit, positive you see?
I think a positive for me is going to be, if you're a die-hard Fast and the Furious fan, this is going to be a fun movie to watch.
It's fun.
It's definitely going to be entertaining. I think you'll like it. I do like that they kind of paid homage to Paul Walker. When we get to a certain point in the movie, I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
And really, just for me, I mean, I think Fast and the Furious really gives you a chance to experience film that's really mindless, and you don't have to think too much, and there's just a lot of action going on. And so it's good to get movies like that sometimes where you're just having fun, you're watching it, you're not really watching it for the plot. The plot it may be good, it may not be good. And so you just enjoy it, and you just enjoy what's on screen. So I think die-hard Fast and the Furious fans will definitely enjoy this movie, for sure.
And I was going to say the action pacing, too. That's a big plus for this.
Oh, well-paced. Well-paced.
And I think we've started to, as audiences, we've come to expect that from the Fast series, especially when it comes to about Fast 5 onward. They became kind of heavy on the, making sure that we've got action sequences here or there. So I definitely thought that was interesting, and it kept me on my,
that also goes to the direction of Justin Lin. He does a really good job of putting together great action set pieces. And so no matter how far off it may be, his mind does a good job of directing how it should look. And the movie looks cool.
No. And they had some really cool special effects that they used, especially with the magnet cars and stuff and flipping things in and out. That was all. I mean, I think the action sequences will definitely be a big
far out
plus.
there, but it's safe.
Well, we'll get to that part later. Remember, we're still in positives, baby. We're still in positives.
Yeah.
So,
my positive list is done. So.
Well, I mean, I'd say one more. You still can't knock the fact that the cast itself, the chemistry of the cast still works. Like they still deliver on what you're expecting for.
It's there.
With the new addition of John Cena to the cast, he doesn't feel out of place. I will say, and y'all can disagree or not, he don't bring the same charisma that The Rock brought. So y'all can, but at the same time, y'all can take that for what you want.
But I thought he actually did pretty good.
But he does well.
Yeah.
And
the Toretto family beef was cool.
Yeah, cool. I think that was straight. And then I will say, I think the one thing I've come to like most in these films, at least in the last few, is Charlize Theron. Like,
oh yeah,
she's just a boss. Like, and
when is she not good?
Yeah, I mean it's true. I haven't seen too much where she's not good.
Yeah.
But man, like she carries herself well in this movie. Like,
Yeah.
and her portrayal of Cypher is just great. Like even though she's not in it as much as in the other films.
Yeah, she's not in it as much, but she still does a good job.
All right, so
you got your positives done?
yeah,
You
I'm done. The
Okay.
list is done.
All right.
So I know you're
Okay.
itching. You're itching. So
Oh,
go
I'm
for
just
it.
saying, okay. And so I'm taking my biases out of this, everybody. I'm just grading this film on what it is for what it is. Because obviously I'm not the biggest Fast and the Furious fan, right? But for me, it just, okay, one problem is using flashbacks to drive the exposition for this movie. I wasn't sold on that. To me, it was annoying. I think it's cool to show a younger John Cena and show a younger Vin Diesel and show the death of the father and what happened, and that's fine. But for using flashbacks throughout the entire movie, I found to be a little lazy. And I felt like, and also I did not like the fact that it felt like they were setting up for number 10. I felt that they were setting up, and they should have focused more on this movie specifically, and then maybe do something at the ending credits to show, like, hey, we got number 10 coming. Yeah. I felt like Fast and the Furious fans, you may be slightly disappointed with the whole setting up thing, but flashbacks for me was annoying throughout the whole thing.
So I definitely,
Just a little bit.
I didn't. That wasn't a negative that initially hit my list.
Yeah.
But I can agree with you on that, because at the same time, when it happened in the beginning, I was like, this is cool.
Yeah.
And in my head, I'm thinking to myself, so, and I'm not gonna lie, as I watch that first sequence happen, I'm like, okay, so the little brother's there. The little brother definitely is gonna be responsible for old boy's death. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like,
You can pick it up. Yeah.
it's little brother's fault in some way.
Right.
I was like, it may not be on purpose, but whatever it is, the falling out happens because of this.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, that's fine. But my thought was, you're gonna show me this little flashback here. We will then go back to modern day, and there will possibly be maybe one more flashback, just one more, to give us what happened.
But it wasn't just one more.
But right,
No,
there were a lot of bounce backs, and I do agree. I don't know if they made as much. I don't know if they built as much for me as they intended to. I didn't have as big an issue with it, but I do get they were splicing, like how they spliced up the rest of the time. I was like, are they necessary here? You know what I mean?
Another negative for me is I felt like there was nothing at stake for every single action scene. So everything is just action, we move on. Action, we move. There's nothing at stake here. Nothing.
Nothing? Like,
No.
I mean, they got the fate of the world and whatever this little octocube thing does.
There's nothing at stake here. And another thing, with nothing at stake here, Vin Diesel comes off as a superhuman in this movie.
Not just
And-
him.
Everybody. But the thing is, at least Tyrese, there's a scene where you have this truck that it's like about to fall on him, and he's scared. I get no reaction from Vin Diesel in this movie at all. No reaction. He doesn't struggle at any moment except for when he's fighting 20 plus people.
But that's because he's the baddest.
No. Because he's fighting 20 plus people.
He's the baddest,
and then he takes these chains and he literally, it's like he tears down the whole building. Like
straight Samson reference?
I was like,
what?
He is Samson from the Book of Judges,
I was
knocking
like,
down
what?
the pillars, and he
blind rage and destroys everybody. But Miss Vin,
I was like, come on,
Kevin,
man.
have you not learned?
Come on,
have
man.
you not learned?
And I understand
From him and The Rock's beef. Vin Diesel is clearly that dude. That's why he ain't phased. That's why The Rock had to leave. Because The Rock didn't understand that Vin Diesel.
They have tried to make Vin Diesel the Schwarzenegger and Stallone of this era, and I understand, but the thing that's different about it is you see vulnerability with Schwarzenegger and Stallone in certain situations. Throughout the Fast and the Furious series, I don't see any vulnerability with him. I don't see any struggle. It's just, in this movie specifically, I think number 9, honestly, really shows the weaknesses of these films because... It does.
So you're saying no vulnerability. Now, I think that part is shown. They just don't show it in
Not
terms
number
of,
9.
If you're talking physical, that's the problem. I'd agree with you.
That's what I mean.
Physically, but they did that. Like I said,
he had no cuts on his face.
Not just him. Him and Letty both turn over in a car after flying across
Yeah, look. Yeah, let me not target. Let me not target Vin Diesel. Nobody had cuts on them. Nobody had bruises on them. Everybody was just
like, you know. And so
chilling.
I'm like, yeah.
There's nothing at stake
so
here.
If you're saying at stake for our heroes, you're right. None of them are actually in risk of actually dying at any point.
No,
it doesn't feel like it.
And that's another thing with the screenplay and at risk of dying. This is weak writing because you try to get Ludacris and Tyrese to talk about, oh man, you know what? Man, it's like we're blessed, man. Have you ever noticed we got through this situation? We haven't been harmed. And so just because you want to crack jokes between these two doesn't mean that it's weak overall.
Yeah,
that's weak overall, and it doesn't do it for me.
Well, so all right. So let me get some of my little negatives in too, because I know you seem to have a book. You spilling. So one of mine, the first one is in a series. Number one, this is number one for me. Mm-hmm. How do you have a series based around the idea of family, and by 9 you want to try and all of a sudden introduce a brother? Sorry, that was. When I saw that in the commercial, that's what essentially told me. All the other ones, I was like, I've seen the other Fast and the Furious. Yeah, I think it's gone on for a while, but I'm gonna go see it because it's fun. I'm not saying it's gonna be the greatest cinematic masterpiece, but I'm gonna go see it.
It's gonna be fun.
However, when you're gonna introduce a film that's gone 8 movies all about family, and then you're gonna try and act like you're gonna make his brother become the villain. I'm like, wait a minute, y'all. Like even if it is technically a bait and switch, which I'm sorry, I think everybody was watching it knowing that at the end of this, he's clearly got to be back at family. Like that's. But I felt that was a weak.
But once again, that's setting up number 10.
Here we go
again. Here we go.
Side note, I don't know if y'all I sat in the movie and I was counting the amount of characters.
Yeah.
And so we're in 9 now. And technically the brother isn't added yet, but if I add the brother in there, I think by Fast 10 we will have 10 main characters at this point, not including Brian.
Genius.
So I was like, I don't know if y'all going for an Ocean's 11 thing here, but that's what I thought. Like I was looking around at it, and I'm like, okay, if we include the 3 dudes from
number
from
10,
Tokyo,
fasten your seatbelts.
You know, boy, stop.
Fasten your seatbelts.
No,
that's a lot better than F9, named after a function key on the keyboard.
I didn't even think about it that way. But I mean, you're right. F9, yeah, was the way they marketed.
That is a terrible title.
F9.
Are you kidding me?
Well,
I just kept thinking about function key the entire time.
I'd never connected that, but that's pretty funny.
Like what?
I'll also say, for another weak point, jokes did not land. I went to go see that with a full.
Wow.
I went to see that with a completely full audience. And I have to say that, unfortunately, I may be heard laughing twice in the film.
The laughing was an action.
Twice?
Because of how ridiculous it is. That's what I was laughing at.
And it just, and what I think, the sad truth of it is, and this is more series-wise than just this movie, but it's just, we've run the same gags for too long. From the moment that Tej is introduced with Tyrese's character in Fast 5, in Too Fast, Too Furious, they're not necessarily, at each other's wits as much, so it works. Yeah. But in Fast 5, from then onward, you kind of have this bicker, this kind of back and forth, and they all, and it's been good for a couple films. But I think we just kind of grew tired of that. Also, with Tyrese always. His character is typecast as this dude who's generally, I don't get how you rolling with a super team here of, I don't know if it's called you agents. I don't know what y'all are.
They're spies.
To be real.
They're international spies, aren't they?
But I guess so at this point, because that's the way John
Poor
Cena,
man's Mission Impossible. I told you.
That's the way John Cena's dude describes it. Y'all in my spy world. So I guess they're spies, which they never Well, that's a different conversation for a different time. But I'm like, bro, what? Tyrese is always just hollering and screaming about how you rolling with this crew and you scared of everything.
Scared of everything.
You scared of everything. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like your kid, and that's not.
When he fell down that little tunnel area, he killed everybody smooth though, didn't he?
Oh, that was pretty funny to me. It was a. I thought we were gonna get a turn, a change of pace for his character when he did that, and I was like, oh. Okay. Yeah. So we get rid of Dwayne. Yeah. We get the Rock out of there, and now we're gonna have Tyrese sitting here and he gonna step up and become like that dude.
Yeah.
Cause man, that little sequence when he falls down in there, he tackles old boy down in there.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden realizes I'm surrounded, bump it, and I'm like, no way that's gonna actually happen.
That was just for that one scene.
Oh yeah. And then he back to screaming and hollering.
Back to screaming and
hollering. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Like we gonna die, this and the other. So yeah, the jokes didn't land as much. It didn't. I don't think it was as funny as it was trying to be. Yeah. If that makes sense.
Hey, you said something about, you were talking about family in this movie, right?
Yeah.
Why would they leave Brian like that? Their son Brian. Why would they just leave him like that? I thought it was about family.
I got you. So
why would they do that?
I went to go see it with my wife, and my wife literally leans over to me and she says, "So they're just gonna leave the kid?" And I said, "You ain't know."
Like, they left him back in the wooden box. He was still hiding.
I was like, "You ain't know? Government agents got like month-long babysitters that they can call. Like it's easy. Like it's fun." Like,
and that goes back to the lazy writing. They say who was babysitting him this whole time, and please.
I mean, it just was interesting.
But that's
and then my last piece, like I'm not gonna lie, my last piece is still, and this has been a problem I kind of had throughout. Man. But like,
oh my goodness,
the only one I can let this slide for was number 4, and a little bit of 5. But the inclusion of Mia, like I'm just like y'all.
Yeah.
Not that I dislike, the actress. I don't. It's not that, or the character of Mia. Mm-hmm. But y'all really caused me to stretch my imagination to believe that, like, Mia, y'all already wrote her out.
Yeah.
You wrote her and Brian out. So let Mia stay gone.
Why is she back?
To me,
why is she back?
That made more sense. Mm-hmm. And she's not like with a very crowded cast.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would just say, she doesn't serve enough of a piece.
Mm. No, I agree.
Like what is her role amongst everybody?
I agree.
Everyone else has a stable role, and that's like I said, that's a big thing for me.
Yeah.
So
I think another thing for me is just the action. Okay, I felt like there was no heart in this movie, and they just relied on action. So you have an example. Okay, John Cena and Vin Diesel finally fight each other. And which, by the way, I felt like that was a weak fight scene for the brothers. I feel like they should have fought longer, but that's just my opinion. There's a point where John Cena's putting him through the walls, and then Vin Diesel, his head knocks over the top of the door frame. Is his head made out of steel? How did that not faze him? Okay, there's another part. John Cena is like ziplining, building the building. Vin Diesel just jumps, dives, and tackles him through a window. You see it on this is stuff you see on the trailer, people. I'm not spoiling anything. The movie is ridiculously over the top. And I felt like Fast and the Furious has always been over the top, but they knew their lane to try to stay grounded to a certain extent.
So I'm going to pause this, because at this point, I think we're talking even outside of just this film. I think we're just talking the series. Let's pause. Okay. Let's drop our ratings right quick, and then we can come back because I got more stuff. I got more stuff for you. I got more stuff for you. I want to get in people who, you know what I'm saying, the people who want it.
I'm taking my biases out of this movie.
No, I'm not even talking about biases. I'm with you, but I think that's going to open a conversation. So I'm just saying, let's drop the ratings, then we're going to come right back. Right. Like, we're going to come right back.
So we're talking percentage. This movie is a solid 65%.
I am in total agreement. 65%.
Oh, you agree?
Yes.
65%?
Total agreement.
My man. Okay. Now, all right. That's real.
Now, I'm going to tell you like this, though.
I wasn't going to go that hard. It's 65%.
Now, I will say this. It can get 70.
For what?
In one way.
For going to space. Because they went to space in this movie.
No. I'm going to give bonus points to this movie and give it maybe a 70, simply because you can tell that there are certain things that I felt like the writers and directors and stuff, and even the actors, I think things were written into this movie that were because of the fact that movies and filmmaking and this, that, and the other is no longer done in a vacuum. In other words, it's not the vacuum of Hollywood.
Okay.
So here's what I mean.
Like,
the cool thing about where we live now, like the way we live now, I can technically interact with Hollywood through Twitter, through Instagram. I can at these people. I can at this, that, and the other. And you can tell that they were involved in seeing us seeing people.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but that was,
for example, the space.
Exactly.
The space element.
They know. Like,
this is, people are talking about this on the internet. We're not spoiling anything.
The meme
they go to space.
Yeah.
Tyrese and Ludacris go to space.
Well, that part might be slightly spoilerish, but
no,
I think if you know it, but it doesn't matter.
They're in space.
You watch this, you know
they are in space, ladies and gentlemen.
But that's the thing. They like it's hilarious. They do two references to this. One, you got your rocket powered car that winds up going to space. Like I said, that's spoilerish because maybe you don't get to
the end to know Back to the Future
but anybody,
car.
Yeah, everybody knows that if you're looking at this wannabe DeLorean, they probably and they talking rockets.
They're in a DeLorean.
It's going somewhere,
gentlemen.
Right? So they in this. It looks almost exactly like a DeLorean, but I was like, but it's on there, like, and so you got that reference. But the thing is, it comes from the memes that people made. I think like 2 movies ago. I don't know if it was Fast 7 or Fast 8.
Yes.
When they were like. Yes. The next Fast movie, and they were showing like a sequence. It's a meme. It's like a picture. It's like Fast and the Furious 1, Fast 7, and then it's like year 2023 or something, Fast 32, and it shows the Death Star. And they totally reference it twice by sending people into space in the movie. And they even had the villain at one point comparing himself to like I was like, I had to give him credit.
The Star Wars references, oh my god!
But they did it on purpose.
I know.
I was like, that part was.
But that's actually a positive because they don't take their movies very seriously.
Well, I'm not saying they
don't take.
They know how to take.
They know how to take the jokes and they put them in there, and I think that's what's helped make this franchise successful.
And it made the movie. It made this movie specifically interesting. So that's what I'm saying. 65 is how I genuinely feel. But I was like, adding these things made it funny.
So number 10, is it going to be Fast 10 Your Seatbelts or is it going to be Fast 10 Lost in Space? Which one are you going with? Which one are you betting on?
I don't even know. Like,
we don't know where it's
all I know is Little Brother's coming back. Cino probably
Little Brother's coming back. He's probably got some connections out there in space.
I saw a little interview clip that shows that Cardi B will be back.
You know they had to put Cardi B in the scene. Cool.
They did. They dropped Cardi B, and she did fine what she was doing.
That was cool. That's cool.
But all right. So now let's hit that bonus round. Bing, bing, bing. Right. Ring the bell.
All right. What you want?
So
what you want to say
about the series?
Like I said, Fast 7 died when it ended when Paul Walker died. That's when the series ended for me mentally. I was pretty much done at that point because my problem with Fast and the Furious is Universal has been a cash grab for me. Sure. And so Fast 7 had the perfect ending. It was kind of sad too, of course. And I can understand them not wanting to end it on that sad note and maybe pick it up and do something different. So I can understand that. But at this point, I just feel like they're just milking it. And Fast 9 to me just felt like instead of 1-upping something, they wanted to 9-up something. Yeah. Like they went that far. And so I'm like, it just wasn't really for me. Well, but I do understand that this is something that people love. So
I mean, yeah, and that's
I understand that. Understand that.
I agree with that too. When I went, there were people in like I said, in Fast shirts,
shirts,
T-shirts there, because they were so down for the series. But I can't lie, y'all jumped the shark. Like, if it wasn't for the Fast 10 being greenlit already, I would say stop now. Like, y'all should have stopped a while back. I agree, but y'all doing way too much. Your timeline.
There's a lot of computer in this movie.
Your timeline. Way too much.
A lot of computer. In this movie.
The most unreal thing in the whole thing is the fact that I'm seeing like Vin Diesel run with Tim's on all over. Like I was like, you need to tell me, playing strapped up to Tim's and moving like that. I was like, stop, y'all. Them things is heavy.
A lot of computer. Do you feel like the CGI looked decent though? You thought?
Oh, I mean, it's decent at times. Yeah. But anytime you saw people, no, it looked gummy.
Straight,
it looks gummy.
It looked straight, yeah.
And so
I
was like,
I had a problem with that too.
But at the same time, the stuff that you're doing,
you have to.
Yeah, you got no choice. You can't get nobody to fall out of a moving car like that. And so, like I said, you're just doing too much from the space to the timeline. That's.
Han's timeline is convoluted. Honestly.
Oh, they tried to clear it up, but I'm like, that doesn't.
No, I don't know. That doesn't sell me.
I'm gonna have to sit down and rewatch all 9 of them. But good luck. And we talked like
we talked about it.
I remember details fairly well from them, but my thing
Tokyo Drift, taking place after.
And the problem that's the thing. Like the way that they've done this now, I'm like, I don't know how to make this work. I don't even realize like. When you introduce the 3 characters in 9 again, you reintroduce them. Yeah. I'm not even sure how far out of high school they were. like how far are they out of high school
so tell
for them to now realize that Han is alive? Yeah. That you like what? there's a lot of stuff just convoluted. And then Han stuff gets explained in the movie because y'all been listening to us.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Because the audiences wanted to know, how does this timeline work for Han?
Yeah.
But at the same time, his timeline has to also cross and work with Paul Walker's timeline too.
Yes, it does.
Of being a cop, then not a cop.
Yeah.
What?
No, it's convoluted. Like, it's convoluted.
I'm just like,
I'm not really sold on his timeline and story.
Yeah.
That's just me. Other people, I'm sure you get it, and I'm sure it makes perfect sense for you. For me, it just doesn't add up. That's just me, though.
And I don't know. I think at the end of the day, when I look at that series, like, unfortunately, well, first of all, fortunately enough, I'm not saying it's not a cast grab. I'm not saying you don't have a good cast with camaraderie. Like, y'all set up something that's great. Yeah. By all means. I'm not knocking
this one didn't have the heart that the others have, though.
I'm just simply saying
this one doesn't have the heart, though.
It's okay
this one
to
doesn't
call
have the
it
heart.
quit.
This one doesn't have the heart as the others.
I think it's.
I felt the fam. This one for me.
This one
for me felt like, when are they going to fight Justice League? When are they going to fight Avengers?
That's what Fast 10 is about, bro.
Like, well, that's
Thanos
probably what
comes
it's
back
about.
and
Yeah,
they team up with the Avengers, and James Bond's gonna drop in. Plus, you know what I'm saying, Ethan from
Daniel
Mission
Craig
Impossible.
pop up. Yeah. That's what that felt like for me, man. But hey, y'all heard our review. This is how we feel about it. Like I said, it's a 65% movie for me, which is pretty good. I feel like for this kind of movie. What's that?
I forgot to just tell it out as we leave out.
What's that?
I cannot forget I gotta say a shout out to y'all for being bold enough with all the sequences you had in that movie. All the sequences you had in that movie that defy the laws of physics. For you to, at some point in your movie, at the end, make a reference to physics. If we follow the physics, I was like, oh my gosh. I was shook. I was like, y'all didn't do that. Y'all disrespectful. I was hurt.
They probably gave Christopher Nolan a call. Like, hey, you think that's good? That works? Cool.
I was just
Nolan probably hung up the phone laughing.
But I was like, y'all not paying a bit of attention to science, and had the nerve to add a line in there about the calculation says in the physics, and then even had the nerve to say that.
Ludacris is a genius in this movie. You know that he's just genius. He knows everything. He knows everything.
Storylines are crazy too. He goes from car mechanic that was just cool with fixing cars. Now he can do the math on every little thing, which is fine for him. But then we got Han, who went from racing cars with high schoolers to apparently like being a super spy. Like,
I'm telling you.
I don't know.
So how did he become a rocket scientist? Did they say what college he went to?
Like, nobody knows.
What's his certifications?
I don't know.
What did he do?
Bow Wow supposedly taught everybody. It was his idea.
How did Bow Wow do it? It was his idea. Wow, okay. They don't explain that in this movie.
Shout out to Sean Moss, because he got everybody in the rocket science. He went from.
They're just geniuses. Okay, I got you.
You know what I'm saying? But that was too funny to pass up.
Y'all can be sold on that.
That was too funny to make a statement about following physics. In half of the movie, I'm like,
oh man.
So, that was dope. But y'all, tell us in the comments, man. Like, tell us what you thought. Tell us. I mean, I think at this point, I think the series is, like he said, a 65, and the series is at this point becoming so bad that it's good. Like, it's so bad.
Like I said, I think this one for me is actually the worst one in the series. That's just for me. I'm missing Tokyo Drift right about now. I miss Tokyo Drift. I remember when this
disrespectful. Don't do that.
Nope. I'm missing Tokyo Drift right about now. That's just me.
And Tokyo Drift,
I miss it. I'm gonna go watch that today, actually.
Disrespect.
Yeah, I miss it. But hey, we appreciate you guys for tuning in. Like I said, please like and subscribe our video. And hey, we appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching.
My man said Tokyo Drift. Tokyo Drift.
Tokyo Drift, man.
That was disrespectful. that was just a shot.